This impressed me a lot. That is, I wanted to take part in this, and then I wanted to get instructions on how to use it. First of all, I already had certain abilities that I thought everyone had. There is this same power, and he called this power in one word and explained it. I was alone now. I'm on the Ando team. It's so cosmic. He hasn't cancelled big numbers. He needs to buy a cook in them, and it's like nothing's wrong. Add a few more pours. The question is precisely of large numbers. This is one story, another story anyway. When it in between gives you a thrill, serious concentration on awareness. Just awareness. I think that it gives right now just to even be aware of this will give in any case. And all that I learned is that I can do everything. In general, there are a lot of very many things with the new spacecraft, and you all sat in it, so you had to study the whole panel. Now, I'll study it now. It's not just snotty, okay? In case this is something to ask about our experience with you, I will ask you questions. But the essence and answers will not be interesting, and I'm constantly writing down now what we can then cut out of this something that will be useful in it. Other people obey, and you are doing something good. Anastasia, you have come a long way from here. Consultations, yes, and workshops, group time, wing, before individual mentoring. You can say, and you said that you have several cable stayed jumps, and not just words as I understand it be. Because it was expressed to you before materially, yes. I probably didn't want to talk about numbers. Numbers that, yes, of course, I attracted investments. You can even talk about the procedures of the project. And he seemed to have heard it well. It will come again. Anastasia. Hello. We already know each other, almost how soon it will be during this time. You managed to go through a consultation with the group part in the time wing. Then please tell me individually why you came at all, how you found me, and why you turned. To whom do you understand at that moment, when I didn't think there was a plan to look for someone. In fact, I didn't have a plan that I wanted to find someone so that I could have someone, so I helped somehow, you know. I went through serious illness there, and perhaps it was such a lucky coincidence, although there are no coincidences, that I saw her boyfriend in it. They discussed what kind of things, but let's say it's more profound or something, in simple words, and I completely accidentally came across an advertisement, and for some reason I also wanted to understand why I got into this story, why I was quite safe. A successful person, and in principle, I was in a state that, in general, it seemed to me that I had achieved everything I wanted already at the moment. Why did I get involved in this story? Why did I go through all these things? Where did they come from, in general? I had questions at this level that turned out well. I wanted to talk to someone not involved, because everyone around me, I talked to them. They were aware of my affair. And these were just some words. Well, tell me, please, what was the result will be 1, 2, 3, so that it turns out a little bit in a different paradigm. I began to think, yes, that is, everything is the same. He told me, stop asking these questions. Why, let's just open something in you, and we opened it. It will open, it will unfold. We did practice with you there, and the result of this practice was that I set a goal. In principle, I didn't have a goal either. And so I felt chrome, and the result of this practice was that I thought, no, probably we need to move somewhere to another level. The guests are ripe, she's there. Remember who is back? I don't even know. Well, she was ripe, yes. I probably formulated it with this goal, and and you came for what time with the goal? As far as I remember, it was connected with your business. Well, let's say it's a bit of a new business for me, a development project, and I wasn't sure that it was my given. I liked it so much, I looked closely, I had been interested there for a long time, and so on. I was not sure that this mine would not suit us, and I saw other people in general. It's worth giving money for this and so on, arbitrarily open up loyalty to attracting financing. This is a big project, and in general, he demands bigness here in the ministry, and as far as I remember, you managed to implement this literally in 9. But almost immediately, there was a resonance, that is. This was confirmation that this is my goal, and everything is around the table. Resonate is just a song time on the net. Gush out live, please. What does it mean to resonate? Very quickly, people began to come. That is, literally, I launched it into space, and very quickly, people began to come who offered something. They themselves either offered to postpone or the guard, or there are places there. In general, more than once you want to give them. They themselves, in fact, did not find it good. But please tell me how you attribute such a reaction of the world to the fact that you are, in general, a successful person. You own various knowledge and techniques, but here we see you got some kind of new experience that surprised you. I also went further than you connect to such a resonance which has already happened, so I asked how simple this is apparently my goal. Well, I'm just pointing there. I got exactly what I wanted, we see, or there was no need to implement it. Well, it's good that it's literally a prime goal, but apparently at the moment when it's needed. And that's beautiful. That is, so that the goal is specifically yours before for its implementation, undelivered, timely, clearly true to this. Yes, yes, well, the right time, excellent. Please tell the article, what did you do to realize your goals, except that everything happened before? Tell me how you are. Be a friend of Sasha's bars. You know how I not only had this as a pure goal, before that I had assets there, also related to real estate. I, in general, didn't consider them only. How it turned out that this whole story was combined into one common folder called real estate. Such a folder, you know it. We started shaking it. It just started pouring out from the object. I have a couple so far. Running objects in general, I just realized that I couldn't help but get rid of them and move them, not change anything there. And such Vedic circumstances, well, in principle, well, as I was already thinking about what to do with them, well, that is, I already had an idea about, well, what to do with them in the end. And at this moment, that is, when everything in space began to resonate, even these objects woke up. That is, I now have the third turn of the third turn. Today, the first tone, and in fact, we figured out the topic. That is, we already have a completely clear plan for what we will do with it. 11, maybe even buy it. Imagine that everything for me, of course, is a joy. A joy to talk about feasting at this moment. That is, this was not your original goal. Once went to practice need to go map, referring to come, pulled up their condemned. I was distracted by what you asked me. You asked me about how private law. I just went a little to the side. Deeply, what did you do in order to achieve your goal? Well, I'm telling you exactly what I did, and they started calling me everything in the morning, you know. From 8, I have a different starting 5 hours from 7, sometimes even these. These objects mean 7 am I. I started this, and during the day everything in itself. You know the seal will come running troll. You know, it's just a process in itself, tearing apart. In place, nothing is not the same someone that I already resorted to. I, in principle, also nothing. But make an appointment, I left at it. That's it. Let's look at not. Miracles happen, yes, that is, any action brings a reaction. There was some action that triggered, but what you called a resonant, powerful word. How everyone started calling you sharply. What do you think has changed inside you in our processes? What? Such chain reactions started, and some goals began to simply attract other thirds. Everything began to be decided. Well, look at this question from the opposite. Even when all this did not start, this question is, what am I? That everything has changed in me too. The next round of the question was, what is my strength? That is, it's just you and me in general, and we began to work on me too. It was a question, and what am I doing? Well, what am I? Not like before he answered this. Just this. Let's say, let's go to the dictation room for the next round and find out what your strength is. And so we just flashed the system, and it became the next attack for a second. I'm not going anywhere. Bypassing myself, I wanted to find out what the matter was asking for. Yes, you took me to the second round, and okay, let's finish first. It means that on the first cue ball, and you set a goal related to getting finance, you set just a project, and it's all by itself the release. Some others reached out to you along the way. Things that you couldn't decide for a long time, and which too were like nuts in the village, and it was just a conica. They went right. I'm not like the village Lesia didn't live. You know that with this they were completely showing no signs of life. Jump on the first snail itself, you can. Add some more vivid memory or insight before we move on to the second. Well, this was my biggest insight. I attracted funding. This is my work. I pushed through. Well, it's too late then. Well, maybe it didn't immediately occur to me that maybe a few years had passed there. But this is my job. I know what to do before me. Most of all, it struck me. No, they didn't. Well, that's also great, of course. It's higher than theirs. Thank you very much to the universe. What surprised me most of all was precisely how it all began to interact, how these posts began to resonate with each other. One request. A whole layer of all different things rose up. That is, some connections and relationships from the past were stuck in there, and so on. That is, a scarf rose under such an interesting one. That is, I was impressed. It's this kind of weaving of these layers, and that it's all so interconnected. Well, that there is nothing unconnected. That is, you pull one thing, the other is pulled up, and they clearly make it clear to you, this is what you want, but this is what you need to pull up to. And in this intertwining of people, with the energy of events, of some kind of seemingly unrelated things. This impressed me greatly. That is, I wanted to take part in this, and further, everything already. Null report about some kind of snatched, some kind of pleasure from all this. This is what I mean. They're in the center of events. There is this guy. Everything that is unfolding is so I. And interesting in here, she and I are already somewhere where we felt this thing. This impressed me most of all. You understand that everything is also power. I called it in one word, this power, and I remembered you met a like-minded person in a circle, in a group, right? Well, I'm telling you some things from generally familiar there a year ago before they appeared. Well, these are some things. They're absolutely fantastically good, that is. You've been spinning around you the feeling of life, energy, resonance, the quality of the cinema hall. Did you manage to naturally start aiming, thanks to this work and timeliness, because you are moving toward your true goal, and as far as I remember, you liked it? That's why I decided to go to the second. A round of deeper work personally, already with me. I needed instructions. I liked it. Now I'll cover it up. I won't understand how it works. I wanted to pull out the instructions on how to use it. I know exactly what hand passes to make in the morning and the spell to say. It's clear that I still don't know for sure, but maybe someone knows. No matter what we do, she doesn't dry up. She doesn't have spells. Well, yes, but still, I wouldn't understand, first of all, how I express it, broadcast it to someone else there. Maybe even share something. Calculations in order. Let's go. You wanted to understand how your personal mechanisms in your life work for your strength to reveal it. I understood you correctly, and you managed to touch this mechanism to gain an understanding of the working diagram, or whatever you call the instructions. I think so, because that I, first of all, I have certain abilities that I thought that everyone had them. I thought that everyone could do this. It turned out that no, well, maybe it's possible to teach. I haven't yet. I know how to do it, and I can now quite consciously apply it from, and you can call it my ability. This is the first thing I learned about the fact that it turns out to be time management. That is, if for me, it was a natural process, when his antipode began to talk about this, he made round eyes and crystallized. Listen to how I take it somehow to develop me. You use it so simply in general, we take what you show yourself. Inside what you need, you cram in the required period of time normally. You have time to do it all. You're not late anywhere, and most importantly, you don't shine. You can call it correctly, and it's unlikely that it's not any more time management. No, this is something more for you. This is something like this. But the sense of time is at the level you are talking about the fact that you can structure the time of your life so that you can press and unclench its speed is right. Yes, I can. Well, for example, I never use an alarm clock. Even I don't even have such a need if I need to wake up there at some time. I'll wake up because I'm better off not writing this. I've set my own. But what time do you have your internal clock? You can set it up on normal, then you can move your muscles apart. Well, for example, you need to have time, let's say. In a day, you have so many things to do there, and you still have to get there. I'll have time to get to this point and go to the office, that is, for. In order to do all this, you can push this time a little bit further for you, so that there is more time, or squeeze it so that it's faster there. Check, 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 check. He's done everything and galloped away, and this way you don't have to fuss, eat. You never need to run anywhere there. Headlong and so on, came out calmly, got there. What did I tighten up this watch? Came out, got there, did everything. Well, I've been using this all my life. It turns out this. Not everyone uses it, and I'm also surprised. I'm hiding. You're running around. Why shine so much? Run away. Don't have time to be late. Knowledge like that is not very good. And then you know that when you can, it's still not just lay it out over the course of a day or in hours. You can also lay it out in some long periods of time. So long-term such multi-pass operations also seem to be typical for me. Yes, that is, I love multi-step operations. For a year it's designed for 2 by 10, yes, and you can. This is timeless. What you and I said is exactly what it is. You take it as if you're thinking about it. But a business operation or something like that, I know that it will last for, say, 10 years until, and where? You cram this whole story into these 10 years, and you know it outside of time because it basically develops there little by little. But there you need to periodically carry out some actions, but they are not carried out. You know how he is under time pressure. It doesn't happen. So what about the time has come to pay the mortgage somewhere where you got it? You need it there a lot. The vest is designed for, but she always tells you such revelations. New damn. I just don't have money. What else is there for the admin? It seems like it turns out. What if? She walks outside of time. She is there and walks calmly. That is, in this time, there is always a resource in order to cover, or the next payment, or whatever else you need in. Well, or there's another paper of some kind to run this, you know. I like this built on its own. In fact, roses, that is. You use this power outside of time and calmness in the ability to compress and decompress time and plans everything in a high-quality manner in order to assemble a business portfolio. Leo, you can launch it in this way for some reason. The amount of how much you have enough of your resource and what you can buy. Grumbled. Probably, I think probably everyone from the players who go for multi-moves like these, for a per. Iodode of time designed for cracks. They apparently have this quality will not last. They know about this because it's just some kind of internal thing. You understand that this internal counter is added to you and this internal counter is added. It constantly regulates your capabilities in a reliable way, completely without stress. You can. If you get the hang of it, you don't know how to do it. I think it's a failure. Right. Oscar agrees to fight Nastasia. That is, you got. Discovered for yourself this ability that was always with you, in fact, before the beginning and more, but somehow created or something to use. Of course, now I understand. Why does this happen? Of course, you understand. Here I'm launching some things. I understand that I'm not in control, but not when you don't know or when you're not sure what you're controlling and not sure what. Really, it all works. You're a little nervous anyway, and you think, now I've picked up something here, there. You never know what it is. And when you already know that, and even then, in general, the story turns out to be quite manageable, and you can even tweak it there. Это гораздо более интересно становится шо. Я сейчас думаю о том, что... значит, оказывается это. Значит, можно попробовать еще где-то подкрутить там этот механизм так. Не лучше понимаешь, и может быть я стану тонку до того, как это еще можно. More through on use. Please tell you in this yours, as I understand, the natural strong abilities that allow you to successfully implement your projects. After completing the training, how does knowledge of the 3 personal income tax calendar help you? And the same, so can I understand this? I started tracking these moments. You say it's just like that, by the way. A convenient story. Yes, well, it's just very clear with all this. How it interacts. What happens? You know, a cog, but if you put me like this, it means it's a big thing. Yes, this clock is a sauce of gears, glasses with these very big things. They work, and you also. Will chips in there. One bullet of. Imagine what a convenient story there is. More gears and giving doesn't mean it falls there, but to steer under, to tighten up on now, directly warming up these new mechanisms. Now I'm already starting to rebuild myself, and there I'll say more clearly, yes, that is. It turns out you were like this, such a small gear of a clear second, something like this. That is, of course, thanks to the calendars that are ripe in the water that works for them, you got a more precise degree. Details of your time, yes, I understood you correctly, of course, that is. It's just superfluous. Well, let's say I launched this one out of time. Let's say 23 projects were launched there for some long period of time and didn't give much detail. But what if? Let's say now I'll be every day. This is all. I'll be steering everything, move something. That is, it turns out that I'm more like a tool for tracking what I may have overlooked. And I can not only hear, you see, I've had such projects that quite narrowly focused, extracted, and now I can still turn there some other unresolved issues of mine, also health, or maybe personal life, some things like that. We understood that this is the knowledge that you received during which you are now practicing. Now you see how to use it as a lever for your further implementation. Well, damn it. How does the clause teach me to explain this? I was alone. Now I'm on the team, and I'm still on the team there, because they're like some kind of reliable robots. Even you have one, you say not to a business team, but to some abstract team, guys. Yes, the gang is such a cosmic team of time. I already want to take 2 internet from you. Very interesting. Let's please return to our question. Did you go to master your power? Which is how it is connected with time. You are a white wizard, a ruler outside of time and wisdom and charm. Tell me, that is. You have already entered the second stream of your individual in order to unpack your power. And what is it about you? Why did you want this? What did you see in this on yourself there, in the characteristics of the power, of course, ours, and power not in the sense that the subordination and power is precisely to expand, and the more I seem to expand than we once see, but everything has become cramped. This is this, here and this in. The shell through I should have already received some kind of treatment power. What else power it is? Right here. I want to see such a moment from you. This expansion went, and here is your second round, and I understand that you have already seen the process, that your internal expansion, that you allowed yourself to reveal your real one. Yes, it immediately reflected on the external one. Tell us in more detail how this happened for you. Look at how. Imagine in more detail, and everything resonates at the beginning. Of course, at some point I was stunned. because I have a lot of projects outside of time. They are moving in one step. That is, they are going to a certain mind, a certain action occurs. And all these projects that were moving at a certain pace outside of time, they got lost. Go ahead. Everything requires attention, since what began to appear on the external plane. You understand? That is, they seem to mean that it turns out that I could already fry them all. That is, I start with these concepts from the oven on the physical plane. That is how they work out for me. Well, this is how grandiose steps happened more often and faster, but I could prince about my same relaxed state, and that is, regulate my scene in the present. I could squeeze this step out of time and do the same bosk of blood. That's all, and the closest ones, of course. Until some moment something rained down on me from all sides. This is me at some point, and but here, however, I can't cope, you know. A lot of very different things started to happen with weapons. Well, nothing then promised normally under this. I connected again and again, and it went as it should. Well, the general reasons before it will arouse you. That is, it was not by chance that the failure arose as a reaction to something, and to show even more, these are the boundaries of all the possibilities. You understand that it still turns out that, and violently organized some kind of process for yourself. I can squeeze out more how he will have time, regardless of the fact that I will be uncomfortable. You understand that everyone always thought that I would be uncomfortable if there were more things to do, or they were, as it were, more global, your level of comfort. Did I understand correctly that this is the series of events that what started to happen was that some kind of malfunctions flew around you. Everyone began to demand your attention. It was some kind of challenge to show you how you can manage by controlling yourself, your states, your time, how you can reveal your strength because the request was for strength to it, better to learn how to use it, and as a result of this, you quickly sorted everything out for yourself. You say correctly, and the most important thing is that I also realized that at a distance, there, you can still put it there. Fold quite well. No, it won't press. Well, Dryland, I can see that you and I are following the structure practice the second day is a challenge, and what not to show the discrepancy I are. Remember, you and I met on the third day. 3 turns here are 2 turns, and you told me about something internal. Expansion. She was just so surprised on your face at that moment that some interesting events happened on your external plane, that the world showed itself at the level of your same capabilities, great breath, and you had something light, as if you were afraid to accept your real power, this breadth of which you are capable of at the level. Well, what are you saying? That you met a person who showed not my plan. A higher plan. Yes, then. Well, there is, but it's already kind of like that. I'm still hesitating on the planet, because I still don't know whether I want it or not, that is. I don't have such a specific internal feeling. You know what I want, so I want to change it there. Well, to completely change this one completely, to raise my own plank, I haven't decided yet, but a man appeared who told me, why are you bothering? I think he'll take this chip. But here, no one has cancelled the law of large numbers. I need to cook in them, and no big deal, a few more pores will be added to yours, it's good. But look, Brian, that you realized your power in the world. You started sending interesting opportunities in response. This and the expansion of the peak is nonsense. You're embarrassed to go into this. Since it was a question about power and might, I asked for 2. Well, no need now anyway. Camphor, I still want my comfort to correspond to this. These matters are out of time. Clearly, when I balance it, a comfortable state, and the feeling of all this that I can spin around myself, maybe this is what I took a step there. That is, you're just me anyway. My comfortable with him halo is more important, and I wish you to go to yours. Comfort to the most beautiful question? That's exactly the big numbers. This is one story, another story no matter when it is, and between giving you a buzz from the cafe, I need it so that I have Poland. At least it's good, that is. Let's summarize with you what the result was. Here are two of your income. Expanding, let's say, as you put it individually. Here is the work on the second round, that Sasha has a lot of things that I actually took away from here. Firstly, Now, every day I will still continue these branches keeps her. Yes, that is, there he would be today. It's also suggested to track. Look for the inner day, of course. Yes, this is a serious concentration on what? On awareness, just awareness. I think what it gives right now. Just even being conscious will give great results in any case. Some other things. It seems to me like breakthroughs. Well, that's all I learned, that I can do everything. In general, very many things, and I can't wait to continue tracking them. Polish, it like you bought yourself new ones. The received washing machine is like this, and now I need all the options now and try it, or this is the same thing, and then think about maybe something else to directly steal things. Because now it's real if you said, oh, let's set another goal for me. It would probably be, it's not yet time for the child to learn how to operate this new one. Of course he has a new low device, and you sat all in it. You haven't studied the whole panel yet. Now I'll study it, so it will help me quite happy with this result. The new spaceship is now not just naughty, yet just bubbles, of course. Of course, let's say modest, happy with this. Yes, this is just a thing. This thing is cool. Listen. Well, the only thing you understand is that I understand it. Yes, that is. I can appreciate it, that this thing. See how cool it is? Well, explain it to other people, and I don't know how you wear it. This number is not how it can reflect what you did. Really, Sash. It's really difficult to feel it, but it's possible if you, as it were, if, let's say, someone wants to learn this, but doesn't understand at all how this thing controls this thing. So I would advise this to just stupidly live consciously, how to do obstructions and directly. Do a conscious day until the reading dawns on everything that's happening. I think I still have to open it for sure. Okay, Stasia, why are you grateful for taking the time? I took out a little bit of my time and shared these very valuable inside me at home with many people. This will be inspiringly useful because what you say is practice. You say such things are very to the point. I just thank you again. I wish you further success in E. Everyone in general, in addition to your life in all layers and spaces of your time. I always contact you once you contact me if you need to scroll through something. Give me thanks too, but I'm sure that we will still have conversations with you about different things. Then okay, goodbye. Thank you and good luck to you next round. Your first tone, you know what buttons to press on falling. I know.